Salutations everybody, it is MrMatty here today, and we are dusting off the lore books trying to figure out whatever we can about Fallout 76. You'd be shocked what a Fallout fan can do with a location and a time. For those who are not aware, Fallout 76 is set in Virginia, more than likely Western Virginia, based off the song in the background of the reveal trailer, and it's during the year 2102. There is a lot you can tell based off a Fallout game set on the East Coast and this early in the timeline. What I want to focus on is what factions we will encounter and what factions we might not encounter during this game. Let's start off with the Enclave. When the bombs fell, they returned to the Poseidon oil rig with the President of the United States. They wanted to go on a purge of all the mutants/inferior species in the wasteland. That was their mission. The Poseidon oil rig is in California, and they never even had to leave that until it was destroyed in Fallout 2 and forced to Raven Rock in the capital wasteland with John Henry Eden as their new leader. Considering their move to the East Coast happens in 2277, 175 years after Fallout 76, it's hard to imagine them coming to purify us quite yet. According to Gamepedia, it's not until 2140 that the Enclave even knows people survived the Great War. So I imagine it's a safe bet to check off the Enclave, at least in my opinion, but do keep in mind Bethesda could retcon off this somehow and try to figure out a way to bring any of these factions into Fallout 76. Anyway, let's move on to the Brotherhood of Steel. They exist at this point in time, actually, considering Roger Maxson, who was a captain of the United States Army, had overthrown West Tech scientists after seeing what they were doing and experimenting with in Mariposa. From there, he declares his desertion of the US Army. The bombs fall, and Maxson went on what is known as the Exodus, where he and a band of survivors established a headquarters in the safety of the Lost Hills. That was in November of 2077, shortly after the bombs had fallen. It's not until another 200 years that the Brotherhood of Steel decides to head to the East Coast, and the Lions chapter ends up staying there after realizing it's far worse off than the West. Much like with the Enclave, the timeline doesn't fit for us to see the Brotherhood of Steel. And considering this is a lot of what Bethesda built their own version of Fallout off of on the East Coast, I mean, some serious retconning would have to be in place for the Brotherhood of Steel to appear in any way based off my research. Let's talk about raiders. I think these are a safe expectation. They leave the vaults and want to scavenge the wasteland for their own gain. Hopefully Bethesda can create some interesting raider groups, but tagging on to the speculation of Fallout 76 being online, I wonder, what if player characters, the actual humans playing the game, can assign themselves as a raider, come into your world, invade your world while you're trying to play? That sounds a little chaotic, but it also could be fun, almost in a Dark Souls type of way. I'm not sure exactly how it would work, but I think this is a good way for them to build off the online mechanics in a somewhat organic way. Ghouls, these are also a safe expectation. So I imagine with that consistent exposure to high levels of radiation for extended periods of time, at the point of this game here, Fallout 76, we know it's 25 years after the bombs had fallen. So I think we can safely say that that's enough time for humans to undergo the mutation, the transformation into a ghoul. And last but certainly not least is the Super Mutants, which I also think we can expect. There is Vault 87 in the Capital Wasteland, which had a different strand of the FEV being tested on there. Considering the entry to this vault was destroyed a year after the bombs fell and mutants could get out, that could also lead to some mutants already being available outside of Vault 76. Furthermore, the experiments continued via kidnappings by the Vault 87 Super Mutants, since they wanted to preserve their species because they felt they were sacred, they thought they were special. So I imagine it's safe to expect that we are going to be encountering more Vault 87 Super Mutants. That's all I could really deduce off the major factions that a lot of people have been asking about. All of this information comes from Gamepedia.com, so if you want to check that out for yourself, get involved in the discussion by all means. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments down below. Are there any new faction ideas you have for outside of Vault 76, and what are you expecting with Fallout 76? Let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content we create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.